What do you want to unleash on us today, Jamie? What's been eating away at you for 3-4 months here?
Well, in my sleepless nights with a newborn, if you will, there's been a lot of, as you say, reading and reacting, probably in a healthy manner, because I get to, tell my 3-month-old things that I probably wouldn't say on TV, about, trades that were made or contracts that were signed or quarterbacks that moved on. So let's just say I am actually really deep into, we take prediction week very seriously on GMFB,
sure.
And I think I really think I'm gonna make some splashes this year with my prediction week. Ooh. I just, you guys were talking about the NFC East, and then, the Kirk Cousins thing still just irks me, how that happened, and the Falcons and then their draft. I'm kind of on I'm losing my words. It's so complex in my brain right now, but it has just been sleepless nights thinking about this. But prediction week with the division winners, I think I'm really going to move some teams around.
When's prediction week?
It is the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
of
the
regular
first week
season
of the season,
which is 49 days. As we've been talking about to kick off of the regular season.
Give us a taste, though, kind of like pilot one of the hottest division winners you're thinking about.
Or the hottest take you got in general. Come on, lay something on us here.
Let me tell you something. My first season on GMFB, I made a grave error, as the Kansas City Chiefs fans would tell you, and I did not make them division winners.
Right.
I didn't even have them going.
Same thing. You have the Raiders that year. Did you buy in on the Raiders?
R.I.P.
That's what Is that what Rich did?
That's what Rich did.
So,
and he's still hearing about it.
Still hearing about it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go with the Raiders, but all of a sudden there's this coach who's living in the same town as me, and my husband went to Michigan, and it's like, what is this team going to do in Los Angeles?
Oh boy.
So
Don't do it.
You're going to do it again.
Jamie, you just moved out here.
I'm just thinking about I'm just trying it on for
you got
size. You just said I had 39 days.
There's also definitely some personal part of this. If she's walking around in whatever beach town she happens to be in and running into Chargers fans, and they're like, you're picking the Chiefs? Like, you gotta protect number one here.
Hold on. There are Chargers fans?
That's what, and if they are, I think they're actually nicer than Chiefs fans.
Yeah. They're going to have quite the season ahead. They're the biggest story in sports.
Who is?
Jim Harbaugh?
The Chargers
story in sports? They'll be one of the biggest stories in all of sports.
That's a hot take.
The Chargers?
Right now, you're saying?
In the season, they'll be one of the biggest stories in sports. It will be Jim Harbaugh. Everywhere Jim Harbaugh has been, he has gotten the quick turnaround. The first year with San Francisco, they went 13-3 and went to the NFC Championship game. Yeah. If the Chargers don't go to the playoffs, that will be one of the biggest disappointments we've had. Every other head coach, give them time. It's going to take a while to get into it. Jim Harbaugh comes in. The expectation is not, hey, let's go from 5-12 to 9-8. We're building something. No, it's you're going to be a Super Bowl winner. You're going to push the Chiefs right now.
I see your argument because you're saying either way it goes, it's going to be the biggest story. Because if it's a huge success, that means they're beating the Chiefs and they're beating teams that they didn't last year. If they don't, then it's a grave failure on this coach that they hired that he was supposed to come in and do this.
Maybe he's 60 years old. Maybe he doesn't have the touch anymore. Maybe he should go back to college. Should never left Michigan. All that stuff.
But
yes, it's a huge story.
Kind of statement, I think it stressed us all out for just a beat to say, because I'm still thinking of we're living in an Aaron Rodgers Jets world, and to say that at times the Chargers, who fight, I think, for the spotlight a lot of the year and frankly throughout the news cycle, that you're going to say that they are going to trump what's happening with the Jets that's a big one. But
Rams have one of the best coaches, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. They've got a couple of the best receivers in the game. They're not as big of a story as the Chargers. There's no way. There's no way. We've talked substantially more about the Chargers.
We do this with the Chargers in the offseason. That's the thing is, I think every summer you could say the Chargers are the bigger story because they've had so much talent. But then in season, I think it's where they fall off the cliff. So I just kind of, to say they're going to be the biggest story in sports, Tom, this is why you're sitting in that chair.
What else? What else is burning you up here?
I mean, you know me. I'm classically
Aaron
trained.
Rodgers, Jets, the mini
Jets.
camp thing.
I
You weren't
have
on
a little
during that.
PTSD from that because I think as a show last August, there was, for everybody.
You're still wearing your Jets gear?
Still wearing my Jets gear. There was so much emotional buildup to that, and then the fallout from that. But I'm curious about what's happening in Minnesota, and just the emotional breakup at the quarterback position. Again, to bring it full circle with the Michigan quarterback situation and what that transition is going to be like. I'm in the middle of watching receiver, and you just fall in love with Justin Jefferson all over again. And I think for KOC, and their ownership and management, like these are officially, it's like a college basketball coach that comes in and it's like his first real recruiting class that comes up. Like, I think for Kevin O'Connell, like, this is big time. These are your decisions and you put stamps on these things. And plus, it's the NFC North is no longer, or has it ever really been, the team's just shifted, a walk in the park. So like the Lions are just so fun. But my heart sometimes, pulls towards the North Star.
We were talking earlier, we took some calls on it, because of the Texans being the first full squad on the field earlier today. Who could be this year's Texans, the team that nobody thought? And there's not that many, because we already have convinced ourselves, well, the Bears are a playoff team now.
Yeah.
All these. Okay. And then one of the teams I think you could put on this category would be if the Vikings are a playoff team. If they're good, of the teams, how much? From a hype train perspective, obviously the Lions, I mean, that's through the roof. It was actually bigger last year because now it's just like, no, now they're one of the best. Yeah. The Packers were one of the hottest teams in the league last year, the second half of the season, into the playoffs, right down to the final interception in San Francisco. You have the Bears with all their additions and Caleb Williams. There's all kinds of excitement. No one's talked about the Vikings.
Yeah.
They've got a really good skill group. They got to figure out the quarterback position. But if they were to become an NFC contender this year, that, to me, would be an out of left field, people didn't see it coming type of moment.
It would be out of left field. I agree with you. But the parallel to the Texans last year, who just, from a star perspective, they didn't have it. We didn't see what C.J. Stroud was going to come up with. We didn't see what Will Anderson was going to do defensively. D'Amico Ryans is such a wonderfully warm and intelligent and bright, driven coach that really gets these guys to a place where they need to operate. To put the Vikings in that, I think the Vikings just have categorically more star power just because Justin Jefferson is there. So I agree it would be out of left field. Gosh, that is a great question because, we just... Now I'm really thinking about who it could be. I like the Vikings argument. What about the Broncos?
I mean, the Broncos, that would certainly be...
That would be surprising.
That would be a surprise.
That would be a
If
shock.
they did it the way the Texans did it?
I would be pretty shocked.
Sean Payton finally got his quarterback, to your point about putting the stamp on things. He's got Bo Nix, who every scout and coach I talked to before the draft was like, this is the perfect fit, 52 career starts, coach's kid. He's going to listen to Sean, do exactly what he wants. Yep. I like that one. Yep. I like that possibility. They're in a transition now.
Tough division to
personnel
do that
perspective, and they're in the rockiest division that there is in football.
Yep.
Okay.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.